Welcome back to the Hallmark Report. Of course, we're checking in with our holiday movie correspondent, Kinsey Campbell, and this is the biggest week in Hallmark holiday movies.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, you watched,
Easily.
how many did you, tell the people how many you watched this week?
I watched 9.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
I think
it's
previously,
too many.
yeah, I think you might have hit the edge of these things.
This was actually challenging to do. It took me a full week to watch them all.
Right, because normally, I think, was it 5 has been the top we've hit before, right?
Most week they do 5.
Yeah, 9
So
this
this
week,
was
though.
4 more.
So that's, yeah, we're almost twice as many as normal. Well,
Yeah.
because we're jam packed with movies. We're not going to check in with the TV shows this week. We'll wrap. Those are probably wrapping up next week, aren't they?
I know Mistletoe Murders is.
Okay, so we'll check in with those, and we'll do a full rundown on Mistletoe Murders on the next episode. But let's dive into, because we've got 9. Let's dive in. Where did we start this marathon week?
We started with Christmas Under the Lights.
Christmas Under the Lights. Okay, and what is that one?
It stars Heather Hemmings and Marco Guazzini.
Don't know.
They're both Hallmark people. Emily is always reluctant to return home to her family's animal rescue ranch, but when her mother passes away, her brother Nick requests her help organizing the annual Christmas carnival. When she arrives, she discovers Nick's friend Luke staying at the ranch, and that Luke was once a successful artist who works with light.
Okay. And they fall in love?
They do fall in love.
Never
This is
would.
another I'm a successful marketing executive and I never come home for Christmas.
Right, yeah.
Movie because
too busy.
marketing never stops at Christmas.
No,
And
never.
so
If there's one thing Hallmark movies make clear, no business stops for Christmas.
yeah. So there's a whole thing like she's a city girl. She's asking for oat milk in a small town cafe. Like
Could you imagine?
things like that. This week I did write down some Hallmark jokes.
Oh, is that in quotes?
Like, she can't come back to her ranch. She's not a ranch girl. She doesn't even like ranch dressing.
Crickets.
That's a joke. Yeah, so she comes back to the ranch. She meets this artist who's no longer doing art because his wife divorced him, and she's trying to encourage him to do art again. And then she's also trying to figure out if she wants to go back to LA and keep doing marketing, or does she not want to do that.
Okay.
And of course, they run the Christmas carnival, and she decides to open a marketing firm in Seattle.
So it all
So
works
she'll be
out.
near the farm because the farm is like a little bit outside of Seattle.
It all
And
works out.
And he's going to have an art studio.
Yay.
It all works out.
Okay. Well, how many holiday reindeer do you give this?
This one was okay. I think he's pretty charming. She's okay. He's probably more charming than she is.
All right.
It's a 3 out of 5. It's fine.
3 out of 5.
It's what you expect in a Hallmark movie.
Okay. All right. That was Christmas Under the Lights. Gets a 3.
Yep.
3 reindeer. What was next?
The end of Unwrapping Christmas.
Oh, right. Who could
Unwrapping
forget?
Christmas. Olivia's reunion.
Unwrapping Christmas. Okay. And you have not been a fan of this franchise.
Not been a fan of the Unwrapping Christmas franchise, which is about 4 friends who own a gift wrapping shop.
Right.
This one stars Cindy Busby and Jake Epstein.
No idea.
Jake Epstein was on the Umbrella Academy.
Oh, okay, then I would have seen him.
And he also this week made an appearance in Mistletoe Murders.
Oh, okay.
He's all around this holiday season. This synopsis for this is very quick. It's just while delivering holiday gifts, Olivia gets snowed in with her ex-boyfriend. And the tagline I particularly enjoyed for this one is walking in a winter rekindled romance, because it feels really hard to say.
Yeah, that's too
It doesn't
much.
flow.
That's unwieldy right there.
Yeah, I get what they were going for, but it just does not work.
No, that's a no. It's a no.
So this one has the least to do with the gift wrapping shop.
Okay.
Because she literally at the beginning is like, I'm off to make a delivery somewhere in the woods. And I'm like, well, that sounds terrifying.
Somewhere in the woods.
just somewhere in the woods. So
Oh.
she's delivering these presents. She unknowingly is delivering them to her ex-boyfriend's aunt's house.
Oh.
His mom has ordered gift wrapping from their shop.
Okay.
And so then she travels up there. There's a snowstorm coming in. She, for some reason, stays for coffee. I'm like, there's a storm coming in, lady.
Mm-hmm.
And then gets trapped there because the bridge is out and she can't get home.
That's a classic
so
holiday movie scenario, though, right? Snowed in somewhere or whatever. That's pretty
so
much.
she's snowed in. She at one point tries to leave in the middle of the night in the snowstorm, and I'm like, "What are you doing?
That's
so dumb."
Yeah, that's not gonna go.
She somehow survives that.
Let me guess, though. She falls in love with the guy.
She falls in love with the guy. I describe this guy as Hallmark Mark Ruffalo. He's got that kind of vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the vibe he was giving off. I'm like, oh, he kind of seems like Mark Ruffalo. But like the Hallmark version of Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Mark Ruffalo is going to Hallmark anytime soon.
I doubt it. He's got that Marvel contract.
Yeah, so they fall in love. The snow clears so she can get to the Christmas gala because we all have to get to the Christmas gala, and she wins the bow competition.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, did this one improve at all on the Unwrapping Christmas franchise for you?
This one did improve.
Oh.
Mostly because it had almost nothing to do with any of the other characters or the gift wrapping shop.
Okay.
It basically was its own thing.
Okay.
And so it felt like its own thing. So I'm like, oh, this doesn't even feel like one of these Unwrapping Christmas movies. And that's a good thing.
Okay. So how many reindeer do you give it then?
This one I'm giving 3. I think this one. If you're going to watch one, watch that one. The other ones, no.
I mean, for those who've been watching, that's a huge uptick for the Unwrapping Christmas franchise.
Oh, I hated the other 3.
Yeah.
But the fourth one works because we basically just gave up on dealing with the gift wrapping shop.
Because they finally, broke from what the main plot of this supposedly is.
Yeah.
You're like, great.
Yeah, great. I would much rather see people trapped in a cabin.
Well, good for you, Unwrapping Christmas, finishing stronger at least.
Stronger, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, where'd you go next?
I went to Debbie Maycomer's Joyful Mrs. Miracle.
Oh, how many Debbie Maycomer? I mean, she's got a direct pipeline into Hallmark, doesn't she?
This is the 4th Mrs. Miracle movie.
Oh, geez. Wow. This is also a franchise.
Yeah, this is the 4th one. Doris Roberts was the original Mrs. Miracle in the first 2.
Well, she was great.
And then it went to Caroline Rhea, who we saw earlier in Holiday Dispatch, I think.
I don't know.
And now Mrs. Miracle is played by Rachel Boston.
I know
so we've
Rachel
sort of
Boston.
Yeah, Rachel Boston's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They've sort of passed it down. She's the 3rd Mrs. Miracle.
It's like Batman's. Yeah. Who's going to be the new Mrs. Miracle?
Who's going to be the new Mrs. Miracle?
This is Hallmark's James Bond.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
She's probably the most recurring character they have in their Christmas movies.
Well, don't they have the witch lady too?
They have the witch lady, but she doesn't do Christmas, I don't think.
No.
There's probably a Christmas.
How could they not? They've made so many of those. How could there not be a witch Christmas or whatever? Anyway, so what is the deal with? I don't know anything about Mrs. Miracle. Have you seen the other ones?
I've seen one of the other ones.
Okay.
So so Rachel Boston is Mrs. Miracle. We have Pascal Lamotte-Kipnis. I have no idea if I'm saying that right.
I don't know who that is.
Tanner Novlin, Matthew James Dowden, and Max Lloyd Jones are our main characters. The synopsis is 3 adult siblings return to their childhood home at Christmas to honor their late grandmother's wishes and try to agree on new leadership for the family's company. Enter Annie Merkel, also known as Mrs. Miracle, who poses as an estate planner and uses her special brand of Christmas magic to help the family find common ground and rekindle their bonds.
So she's like a Mary Poppins kind of figure?
She's like a Mary Poppins figure.
Okay, all right.
She actually has a Mary Poppins bag where she's like pulling all these random things out of it, which is weirdly no one ever is like, what's going on with her bag?
Yeah.
Like no one ever questions it.
Because, it had to be something like that, right? Because Hallmark doesn't have an original idea, so it's like, it's kind of our version of Mary Poppins.
I think she's supposed to be an angel.
Oh.
Is what she actually is.
Oh. Okay.
I think. I don't know. I've not read the books. I saw one of the movies, but it was years ago, and I don't really remember it. But yeah, she's very much Mary Poppins like.
You lost my interest when it had no connection to the DC comic superhero Mr. Miracle. So
No, I think they would get sued for that.
Oh yeah, Warner Brothers would be all over them.
Um, yeah, so this is another one of those classic Hallmark movies where they need to make a decision by December 25th
Always.
of of who will replace their grandmother as chairman of the board for their company. And
And
I'm
the
like,
board,
guys,
and the board, of
they're
course,
not at work.
yeah, the board, of course, is all sitting in the meeting room on December 25th. Obviously,
Yeah, like they wouldn't be at work. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's made very clear that these siblings can never agree on anything.
Oh boy.
They can never make a unanimous decision.
Oh
is
wait,
what
so
everyone
it's so
says
it's Mary
about them.
Poppins meets Succession
Kind of. Yeah.
at
It's
Christmas.
three siblings, and they're all fighting for be chairman of this board.
Yeah.
And then the sister had a romance with like the horse trainer at the grandmother's estate
Oh.
when they were teenagers, but they couldn't be together because she was rich and he trained horses.
Oh,
So it would
man.
never work.
That sounds like a Hallmark movie into itself.
Yeah. So there's that romance going on, and she has a kid who has, I think he's supposed to have like really bad anxiety. And so he's like helping him learn like horses help calm him down.
I see.
And the kid can see that she's an angel and calls her Mrs. Miracle and draws her as an angel. And so he kind of sees through what's going on when no one else does.
Oh God, one of my least favorite things, which is mental health crisis being superpowers. I hate that and stuff.
Like he's like, you're an angel, and then he's like, oh, I should have said. She's like, no, it's okay. I'm only Annie Merkel,
So,
not Mrs. Miracle.
did you enjoy this? How many reindeer are you giving Mrs. Miracle?
I didn't really enjoy Mrs. Miracle, if I'm being honest.
So you're not running,
It was
you're not rushing back to see all the previous entries in the franchise.
I'm guessing the earlier one. I mean, Rachel Boston's delightful and like perfectly fine in this. I'm guessing like when it's Doris Roberts.
That would
though,
probably
like,
be. Well, that would also. It's
that's
interesting
probably
that you.
pretty good.
Rachel Boston isn't really like Doris Roberts or Caroline Rhea, though.
No, they've gone younger.
Yeah.
They've gone for definitely a different.
Right, because
Deal.
I follow the line from Doris Roberts to Caroline Rhea. Even if Caroline Rhea
Yes.
is younger, there's a similar sort of energy there. This feels like a total. Hashtag not my Mrs. Miracle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's fine. Like she's very like quirky and peppy.
Sure.
But yeah. Yeah, but it wasn't. I found she was good. I found the kid actually was good. But the adults I just found kind of dull, and I wasn't that interested in their Succession storyline.
So how many reindeer do you give it?
I'll give it 2. I don't think
2.
you need to watch Mrs.
2
Miracle.
for Debbie
You can
Maycomer.
skip Mrs. Miracle. Yeah.
Oh man.
Maybe the other ones are better.
Debbie, come on. All right. So what's next?
The next one is a 90s Christmas.
Mm.
We're going back to the year 1999.
I remember it
movie.
well.
Yeah.
This
If
is-
you were around in 1999, you probably remember December of 99 pretty well as people freaked out about the millennium.
Is that part of this movie?
Not really.
Oh, interesting. Then why choose 1999?
So it stars Ava Bourne, Chandler Massey, and Catherine Barrell.
Don't know.
I think these are all Hallmark people.
I would assume so.
Yeah. The synopsis is while celebrating her promotion alone on Christmas Eve, a workaholic lawyer is transported back to 1999 via a mysterious rideshare experience.
Those damn magic ride shares.
Yeah, it's basically like a magic Uber driver. I'm not sure who this magical person is or how she has magical powers or why she's doing anything she's doing.
Right.
So this is another one where she's a lawyer, she's a divorce lawyer, and she's working through Christmas because, again, the law doesn't stop for Christmas.
Oh,
so
no.
she's got to keep going.
Well, and
Can't stop
you almost don't even need to say workaholic whatever on Hallmark. They're always workaholics, right?
There's a lot of workaholics this week. There's also this weird thing with the 12 days of Christmas keeps playing, and somebody says if you remember all 12 days, you're rewarded with your true love. I don't know if that's actually a thing. I've never heard that.
No, it feels made up.
but that's the thing that keeps getting repeated. So yeah, she meets this magical. First, she's a diner employee who's like, if you could do your life over, would you?
Oh wait,
Because she's like, you're
is this like a Nicolas Cage Family Man thing?
kind of,
Because that
yes.
sounds kind of like Don Cheadle.
Well, but she goes back to a specific Christmas.
Yeah, his is he made it. They changed the decision of the past, which ripples into an alternate reality. But that character appearing as different things sounds like the Don Cheadle character in that movie.
Yeah, so she's the diner waitress, and then she's like, it's not Uber because we're not sponsored by Uber, but it's basically Uber.
Right.
And she's like, take me home, and she's like, okay, I'll take you home.
So
and then takes her to her childhood home in 1999.
And so people react as if she's a teenager or whatever again, or
she's supposed to be 19.
Okay, so she's back in her. It's not a thing where she's traveled. She's back in her young body, Days of Future Past
she's
style.
Back in her 19-year-old body. No one in this movie looks 19.
No,
I will say that. And so there's all these 90s references. You got, she has, Joshua Jackson written on her notebook.
Yep.
Kiss Me is playing. Mm-hmm. She's got a Walkman. There's teen magazines. She's got like heavily scented lip glosses. You got dial-up internet. So there's a lot of references to like, oh, I remember that from the 90s. And
right. I mean, that would obviously be the appeal of this, right? Is they're playing on that 90s nostalgia that's everywhere these days.
And then the big thing is obviously that she never got together with her neighbor who she was in love with.
Of course.
And so then she's like, well, should I like make some changes? But she has her promotion letter that she got in the future. And as she's making changes to her life, parts of the letter are disappearing.
Well, that's an interesting device to convey time travel. I don't think there's anything else that's ever done that very famously before.
No, when I saw that, it didn't immediately remind me of something. Right, I was like, what a unique thing to do.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah, could that be related to the most famous time travel story probably ever put on film? I can't imagine.
It might be. Yeah. They might have taken it from something.
At the end of the movie, does she in some capacity go back to the future?
Well, she basically at a certain point is like, screw it. I'm gonna change the past. And so then she like gets a new life.
Well,
she's married to the neighbor.
Which kind of happens in Back to the Future, right? Like
kind of. So she's like an estate lawyer, she's married, she has kids.
Yeah.
She has friends, she's no longer alone.
Right.
Because she changes Christmas 1999. Which is also the first Christmas after her dad died, so she's also dealing with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many reindeer are you giving this?
I can't recommend a 90s Christmas.
Uh-oh.
It's not boring, but it's not great, and I don't fully understand the magical elements of it. I was just like, I don't understand who this person is. I don't understand what's going on. Mm-hmm. Not that time travel always makes sense, but I'm like, I'm baffled by what is happening.
Narrative, like storyline sense, though.
Yeah, I was just sort of confused by a lot of it, and the actors, like, they're trying to make them look 19, and we're just like messing with their hair, and it just looks silly.
Right.
So I mean, it's not. I'll give it a 2, but you can skip a 90s Christmas.
Okay, not working for you there. All right.
No.
Well, let's move on to see if is this next one any better.
So the next one is Deck the Walls.
Very clever.
Which has Ashley Greene.
I know her.
Yeah, I mean, very famously in the Twilight movies as Alice. Mm-hmm. And has done a lot of Hallmark movies.
Yep.
But I think it's been a little while since she's done one. So
I don't know.
Is a return to Hallmark for her.
Sure.
It has Wes Brown, who's a Hallmark regular, and Danny Pellegrino.
I know that name. Why do I know that name?
He is, I think, like a comedian.
Oh, that's probably.
He appears a lot on like Watch What Happens Live. He has a podcast.
That wouldn't help. I may have just heard of him being in the comedy field. Yeah,
I've heard him because I listened to Bitch Sesh, and he comes on there to talk about the Real Housewives.
I'm looking at his credits. I think I've just heard him. I may have heard him on a podcast or something.
Yeah.
That name sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one is Chicago interior designer Rose returns to her hometown to help her brother with a charity house flip.
Okay.
So the brother is Danny Pellegrino.
Mm-hmm.
So she's an interior designer. He's a contractor.
Okay.
And they're trying to build a house by Christmas Eve for a family in need. And the town mayor is like, yeah, we lost all the money for that. Because I think there was like mold or something in City Hall. And they're like, we no longer have money.
Great.
For this house flip. But also, you have to do this house flip because it's for charity and this family needs this house.
Okay.
And that's why he has to call his sister, Ashley Green, to be like, hey, you're a very good interior designer. We have no money. Could you please come help us with this house?
And I'm guessing sparks fly?
So that's her brother.
Yep. Yeah, not yet, right.
Sorry, my cat just fell off the table. So yeah, her brother's friend, who they've all known each other since childhood, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And, they don't get along. And they have to live in the same house. And there's a lot of like 60s rom-com split scenes.
They couldn't
split
possibly.
I
can't ever imagine that they're going to fall in love. That would be crazy. They're such different spirits.
Yeah, so they got that. And then the brother has sort of a thing with the reporter who's not being very nice. And they didn't get along in school.
Wait a minute.
But now it's like...
But they sound totally different as well.
Yeah, maybe.
This can't work.
Say this is the first this year I've seen of a gay romance that's like a part of the story and not like off to the side.
Oh, okay.
Because the brother and the reporter, that's also like developed throughout the movie.
Right.
And it's not like, oh, the brother has a husband, but we never see him and he never says anything.
Isn't that part of one of the shows though? Isn't there also a gay romance that's a main plot?
Holidays
yeah.
has one. This is the first time one of the movies I've seen it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like actually a part of the story, not just...
I think you mentioned that there was like a gay brother and one of them who just had an unseen husband, or maybe was seen but had no lines or something.
There was one where somebody had a husband and he had no lines.
Yeah.
There was one where somebody had a husband, we saw him like at the very end, and I don't think he had any lines.
Right. So
this is like an actually developed storyline.
Yeah. Hey.
Which was like, oh, that's good.
And somewhere Candace Cameron Bure is losing it.
I did find a very angry IMDb review about this movie that specifically was about the brother and the romance with the brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked the brother. I thought he was funny and I really enjoyed him.
There you go.
And I like that he was the contractor, because it would be very easy, I think, to make him
an interior designer.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, I like that they made him the contractor, because that's not probably what you would expect.
I got to say, anytime Hallmark doesn't lean into stereotypes of any sort, that's pretty big for them.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought he was good. I mean, this whole cast was very charming. Ashley Green, always love Ashley Green.
Well, she's an actual actor, which helps a lot on these.
Yeah. I will say this movie was also clearly sponsored by Home Goods.
Oh.
And Nutella.
Okay.
And also surprising about this movie, roller skating rink, not ice skating rink.
Oh.
I was shocked.
Same scene, but a little bit different, folks.
Different. Couldn't believe it. Roller skating rink, not ice skating. But they do, of course, finish building the house. Happily ever afters all around.
All right. How many reindeer do you give it?
Give it a 3. It's a solid movie. It's fun. I like the cast.
All right. There you go. Another 3. Okay. Well, moving on. What do we got?
Believe in Christmas.
Believe in Christmas.
Believe in Christmas. You gotta believe in Christmas.
I mean, yeah, I think all of these could be called Believe in Christmas, but okay, sure.
They all could be Believe in Christmas. This one has Megan Ori, who
that name also sounds familiar.
From Once Upon a Time.
Oh, okay.
She's been in a lot of stuff, but when I think of her, my brain immediately goes to Once Upon a Time.
Okay.
She was
Little
Red Riding Hood.
You watched that show, so.
Oh, I loved Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
I could go on and on about that, but I won't.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, save that for your podcast.
For my Once Upon a Time podcast.
Yeah.
And it also has John Reardon,
Oh,
um,
of
who
course.
I did not know. And they are married in real life. So this is a real
Oh.
life married couple at the front of a Hallmark movie.
Oh man, this guy is the most generic looking man I've ever seen.
If you draw a Hallmark guy,
Yeah.
I think you draw him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it. Apparently, I have seen
Yeah,
him in stuff, but I wouldn't.
yeah.
Yeah, he
It's
was.
possible I have. He did not seem
Oh
familiar.
well, he does a lot of Hallmark.
Yeah, she I've seen all the time.
So he's on something called Hudson and Rex, that I believe is a Canadian Turner and Hooch type show,
Oh,
where he's
interesting.
a
I
cop
did
with a
not know.
dog partner.
I did not know that existed.
They they've
Uh,
made 100 episodes.
oh my God.
Yeah.
100 episodes of a Canadian Turner and Hooch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I say Turner. Yeah, he's a cop with a dog partner. Yeah.
How is that possible?
Mm-hmm. It's still
I
going.
mean, Disney Plus tried to do it and it went like one season.
Well, it's big in Canada apparently.
Wow. Wow.
I don't think you can even watch it here in the U.S. So
I know I've never seen it anywhere.
I've never heard of it. Anyway,
No, wow.
sorry to derail that.
Wow, that was fascinating. This one is, although skeptical of holiday magic, Beatrice reluctantly joins her best friend on a trip to Christmas Land, where she meets a charming stranger named Ethan. Soon she begins to question what's real and what's part of the experience.
Okay.
So this is a movie about a woman who really doesn't like Christmas, and she really likes to tell you that she doesn't like Christmas.
Oh, these characters. By the way, I've never met anyone who's like vehemently anti-Christmas in a way that people are in
Yeah.
movies. You know what I mean? There are people who are more or less into it, but I've never met anyone who
Yeah.
goes around and like their personality is, I don't like this.
Yes. Like her friend has a Christmassy coffee, and she's like, "Oh, I can't believe you're drinking that. I'm getting black coffee."
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like,
I don't know anyone who's so miserable that it's not only do I not like it, I have to let other people feel bad for liking it.
yeah,
I've never
yeah.
witnessed this.
She's aggressively not into Christmas.
Yeah, I just don't think most people define their life by a negative opinion.
Yeah. And her friend is very into Christmas and wins, I think it's a radio contest, to go to this place called Christmas Land, which is a town that's known for giving you like your dream Christmas.
Another thing that doesn't exist, of course,
Yeah.
only in a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, is that this town that, and so that's the thing where it becomes like, are these actors? Are these actual people? Is any of this actually real, or is it all just
Isn't there
fake?
that
And
movie
there's a
with Kerry
script?
Russell that's like this, but with Jane Austen?
Austin Land.
Yeah, isn't that kind of the
Yes.
same thing, but it's Jane Austen instead of Christmas?
So yeah, they go. You go to a place and you get to act like you're in a Jane Austen novel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
That's a better movie
Well,
than this.
I would assume as much. I never saw it, but I would. I
Go
would
watch
think so.
Austin Land.
Yeah.
There's a very charming Kerry Russell.
Well, sure, yeah.
Um,
I mean, that's automatically makes it better.
So yeah, she's sort of like, is this real? Is this not real? Her friend is also kind of falling for this guy, but she's also like, I think he might be an actor. I think I've heard him rehearsing lines.
Right.
They're staying. I don't know if we've talked about Hallmark loves a cozy inn.
Yeah, makes sense.
They're staying at a cozy inn. Yeah, and so she's also getting into a bake-off, but she's bad at baking, so he's helping her learn how to bake.
Well, how'd she get into a bake-off if she's
Yeah.
bad at baking?
Because there's like a kind of snooty woman who's like, what, you're not going to join the bake-off? You got to join the bake-off.
Sure. Okay.
And so she's like, I can't bake, but I'm in it. And then they bond over learning how to bake. But then she accuses him of being an actor. But his job's actually to handle the people who come to town and are Grinches. And he's the Grinch handler.
What?
So he's not an actor. He's just in charge of the people who are Grinches.
Why are people coming and acting like that?
I don't know. But apparently it's so much of a problem that this is what he does.
They've got a full-time guy on staff to deal with it. Yeah, that's really funny.
They're saying that his mom's in.
That's
and so
very
that's what
funny
his
to
mom
me.
uses this for. But he's also looking for a lady who will fit with Christmas Land. And maybe she is that lady who will fit with Christmas Land.
And maybe they fall in love.
Maybe they fall in love. And at the end, I think she stays with the friend. I don't
Well,
know.
wait, what does
That's
that
what
mean? Christmas Land's year round?
Yeah. I mean, it's a town. These people live in the town.
This is just psychotic. I can't. How many reindeer are you giving it?
I didn't like Christmas Land. I'm giving it a 1.
Oh
I found
no.
I found him very boring.
Well, I
found him
gotta
very
say,
dull.
I mean, just what you've described, this sounds insane.
It was just very weird because I was like, is this like magic? Is this actors? Like, what is happening? Because it's not like Austin Land where you're like, we're acting this out.
Yeah,
and
it sounds confusing.
It's all an act. This was like, I don't know what's happening. This whole town seems
Some
bizarre.
of these Hallmark movies, just from the outside, just from viewing from the outside, it does sound like stuff like this where you're like, it's real, but it's doing things that seem so insane that like you can't fathom that this is reality.
Yeah, I really thought there was going to be some sort of magical twist to this. Like it really was like this town is magic.
Yeah.
But it was just a town of people who love Christmas and want to make people happy at Christmas, which is like, that's fine, but this is very complicated.
Yeah, it just doesn't sound like anything that resembles anything on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So one reindeer for was it just called Christmas Land?
It's called Believe in Christmas.
Oh, Believe in Christmas. Okay, there you go. All right. What'd you watch next?
Next is Holiday Touchdown: a Chiefs love story.
Now this is a big one. Even I've heard about this one because it's so heavily advertised that they actually got the participation of the real NFL team, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, they did. So they shot in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
You see the stadium.
Okay.
It's very clear. I mean, there's Chief stuff everywhere in every scene.
Yeah.
It's very clear they got the sport of this team.
Yeah, right. Which is unusual for Hallmark because normally.
Yeah, apparently this is something Hallmark wants to do is partner with NFL teams.
And I will say the NFL has been looking for a lot of partnerships because I know that they've seen sort of some flagging interest.
Yeah, so one place that they have connected with is Hallmark.
Yeah, which I guess makes sense. And also they very specifically chose the Kansas City Chiefs for a reason.
Is there a reason?
I mean, isn't this kind of like not so subtly the Taylor Swift story?
No.
Well, I mean,
she's not. There's not a football player involved.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, anyway, they're definitely trying to tie it in with the fervor around the Kansas City Chiefs. It's been generated by Taylor Swift.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. So this one has Hunter King. Who
the other King sister
of Joey King.
Yeah,
is Hunter King.
Yeah.
Tyler Hines, who we saw last week in Three Wiser Men and a Boy.
Okay.
And he's a popular Hallmark guy.
Yeah, I mean that's big. They gave him 2.
Ed Begley Jr.
Ed Begley. Now, see, that's big. I feel like that's Hallmark getting a name.
That's getting a name. We also have Richard Reel.
Is
that his name?
I know
Richard
him.
Reel is in it.
In a lot of
stuff. We got Dietrich Bader.
Hey, these are all good people.
Yeah, Christine Ebersol.
Okay.
And Megan Price.
Oh, wait, Megan Price and Richard Reel, they were both on Grounded for Life.
Yep, so we had a little bit of a Grounded for Life reunion. They are father and daughter in this.
Nice.
So that was fun. I was like, hey, because
we were big fans. We were big fans of that show, so yeah.
Yeah, so got some good people in this one.
Yeah.
Like solid. The supporting cast is solid.
Well, it seems like, and I wonder if partially due to the NFL thing, if this one sounds like it has some more money, maybe.
This one definitely had more money.
Yeah, because I mean, these are people who would be in a major film release in side roles, but
Yeah. So no, it very, very clearly had more money.
Okay.
This one is Alana Higman is sure that her family's lifelong history as Kansas City Chiefs superfans makes them a front runner to win the team's Fan of the Year contest.
A thing that doesn't exist.
Derek, director of fan engagement, is tasked with evaluating how Alana and her family stack up against the other 2 finalists. As the pair spends time together, it's clear there's a spark between them. But when her grandfather's vintage Chiefs good luck winter hat goes missing, Alana begins to doubt everything she believed about fate, destiny, and even questions her future with Derek, unless a little Christmas magic can throw a Hail Mary.
Only in a Hallmark movie is the loss of a hat like an existential crisis.
It's such a... Her world falls to pieces.
Where'd that hat go? I have to rethink
Goes
everything.
missing. And she literally... Because they get together kind of early in this one.
Yeah, okay.
Like halfway through, maybe?
But then that hat
and then
goes
she
missing.
Like, basically breaks up with him because of the hat. And I'm like, this is insane, lady.
Yeah.
This is nuts. Because, yes,
it's not even her hat.
No, it's the grandfather's hat. So, yeah, the grandfather, who's Ed Begley Jr., is the one who had the hat.
Yeah.
And I think it was, like, back in the 60s. So they, like, tried to make footage look like the 60s.
How'd that go?
It looked okay. I mean, they put in effort, which they don't usually do stuff like that.
Yeah. It does seem like this is the big one for them.
He's given a hat by a bell-ringing Santa. He's given this.
Oh, it has to be tied to Christmas as well, right?
Yeah, and so every year on Christmas they wear the hat, and if they wear the hat on Christmas, the team either makes it to the Super Bowl or wins the Super Bowl. And so they're like, this hat means everything because our life depends on the Chiefs.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they're also trying to win this superfan contest. And the main guy is director of fan engagement.
Well, he shouldn't be dating one of the contestants then. That seems like a conflict of interest.
I did think that was a little bit odd. But there's other people in the department who are also involved in,
I guess so, but I'd be like, dude, if that can't, like, she can't win, because if that came out, there'd be uproar and Kansas City would burn.
Yeah. They would be very, very upset.
Yeah.
This movie has tons of references to the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously. There's football players that appear.
None of the ones you know, though.
None of the ones I know, so I'm guessing that's a player.
And this one
I don't know him.
Weirdly doesn't have the cameo from the Kelsey mom.
Oh, no.
She's also in
She's
here?
in this one far more than her little cameo in the other one.
Okay.
She works in the town diner. And we see her a few times.
It makes a lot of sense that they couldn't get her son, but they could get her.
Yeah.
We got Travis Kelce's mom.
We got his mom. She's working in the town diner. Also, randomly in this movie, and I would love anyone's help figuring this out. I don't know why Jenna Bush Hager's in this movie. She's an MC at the football game, and I can't figure out why. Because I don't think she has any connection to Kansas City or this football team.
I mean, that's Texas.
So I was just like, why is Jenna Bush Hager here? I was very confused.
Very strange.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, how many reindeer do you give it?
So this is the romance in this movie is whatever. I don't care. Also, I forgot to mention Santa very much real in this movie.
Oh, of course. Why not?
The bell ringing Santa is the real Santa, and the real Santa finds the hat at the end.
And the real
For
Santa
some reason, he's real.
is a Chiefs fan, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know why Santa's real. I will give this 3 solely because of the supporting cast.
Yeah.
They are a delight.
Yeah.
And Ed Begley Jr. genuinely gives a moving performance when he's talking about his wife that has passed away.
Yeah.
It's actually moving. He's amazing. The supporting cast, awesome. The romance, whatever.
Okay, interesting. Yeah,
just for the supporting cast.
Well, that's what happens when you hire real actors.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. All right. On to that. What do you? Is it 2 left by my count? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got 2 more.
Let's wrap this up. What we got?
I got the finish line.
And that's Finn. Finnish, as in people from Finland.
Like Finland. This has Kim Matula.
Yeah, she's a regular.
She's a regular. She was also just in, was it Saturday Night?
Yep.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
She was in that. She's in one of my favorites, The Ghost of Christmas Always, I think is what it's called.
Sure.
We got Bo Murchoff. I don't know how to say his name.
Don't know.
He's on Hallmark. And then we have Nicole Sakura. Who,
from Superstore.
Yeah, Cheyenne from Superstore. I was delighted to see her. I did not know she was in this.
She's good.
This is inspired by her father's acclaimed legacy in dog sled racing. Anya follows in her dad's legacy in dog sled racing, heading to Finland after his death to take part in the 40th annual race.
You can't just do that.
Well, she's a dog sled racer.
Oh, she does. Okay, I see. All right.
She's a dog sled racer who's taken some time off because she was caring for her father while he died.
I see.
She's now returning to this race that he, I think, lost.
Okay.
And she's going to race the man who beat her.
I'll allow it.
Yes. So she's going to race the man who beat her father, to, I guess, get revenge.
A Hallmark story of vengeance.
Yeah. And then her best friend is going with her. And there's also her
wacky
cousin. Yeah, her cousin who's Finnish. And the best friend, him and the best friend have a little romance.
Of course.
Because we got to fit as many romances in there as possible.
That's what people tune in for.
Yeah, I did like in this one that the main guy works for the press, and I like that wasn't a secret.
Yeah, she
just knows, and I'm like, okay, I'm glad that's not
no
like,
subterfuge
in
this one.
No, and then there's another thing where she keeps saying like off the record, and I'm like, oh, is there gonna be a thing like he publishes something and he puts in something that she said was off the record? No.
Oh, good.
So there really wasn't anyone. I was like, wow, we're not trying to fool anyone.
Wow,
the dogs are adorable. They shot in Finland, so it's gorgeous.
It seems like this year they've had more on location stuff.
A lot more.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So like, the dog sledding scenes actually don't look as bad as I thought they would look for Hallmark. I'm like, they're not great, but like for Hallmark,
I would expect pretty shoddy green screen work.
Yeah, like it's okay. It's not the best, but I'm like, it's better than I thought it would be.
Sure.
Yeah. And I like that there was a Hallmark character who made a bad joke and no one laughed, and he said, "Oh, I thought that was moderately funny." And I'm like, I like them acknowledging that Hallmark characters don't make very good jokes.
Yeah, I mean, look, it could only be better than that ranch dressing one.
Oh man, the ranch dressing one was like, ooh.
So it sounds like you like this one. How many reindeer are you giving it?
I love the finish line. Okay. I love these characters. I love these actors. Everyone was great. I'm giving it 5 out of 5.
Wow, another 5 out of 5.
It's so it's so sweet and nice, and it's beautiful, and the characters are great, and I really found everyone very charming. I was very charmed by the finish line. Okay,
there you go. Another. So this and the Three Wise Men are the ones to watch.
Yeah, they're fun. They're actually fun.
Okay, so I take it then the last one not as good then.
It's not as good, but it's still good.
Okay, still going out on a high note. What's the last one?
The Christmas Quest.
The Christmas Quest.
And I know people have been waiting, and she's finally here. This one stars Lacey Chabert.
That's right, Lacey Chabert. She's like maybe their top person.
Yeah, I would say she's the queen of Hallmark, or at least the queen of Hallmark Christmas.
And she also had a Netflix movie this year too.
She also had a Netflix movie. She had Hot Frosty, so she's got 2 Christmas movies out this year.
Yeah.
So this one has Lacey Chabert. It also has Christopher Poloha. I don't know if that's how you say his name. He's in a ton of stuff.
Sure.
If you saw him, you'd be like, I know him.
Let me look.
I think he was in the Wonder Woman sequel.
Okay. Once again, he looks like a guy.
Yeah. Most guys on Hallmark look like a guy.
There's a type that they like.
Yes, there is.
Guys who are handsome but not. And I don't mean to be, but like not particularly unique looking, like kind of blandly handsome.
No, yeah, I mean they like just a kind of a pretty face.
I mean he literally played Handsome Man in Wonder Woman 1984. That's what his credit was. Handsome Man. Apparently he's on Landman, which I do watch right now. So.
Oh, so you've probably seen him recently then.
Maybe.
So as those two, it's an archaeologist and her ex-husband, an expert in ancient Norse languages, are sent to Iceland at Christmas time to search for the legendary treasure of the Yule Lads. When others join in the hunt, the pair find themselves swept into a thrilling adventure as they race to keep it from falling into the wrong hands.
How thrilling could this adventure be?
I mean, it's basically Hallmark Indiana Jones.
No, I get that
So,
they want, or like National Treasure, Uncharted.
not as thrilling as you would hope for. Um,
No, yeah, I was gonna say.
we did again go on location though. We actually are in Iceland.
Yeah, they really have been
So
doing that. Yeah.
again, yeah, so again, very beautiful. Actually shot at winter, so
Mhm.
there's real snow,
That's
which was
nice. Their
shocking to
snow
me. I
is
was like, it's
often
actually snowing,
the snow on
and there's
Hallmark is
actually
often
snow
not
on the
convincing.
ground.
Yeah.
This one also has some animated sequences, which I don't think I've ever seen Hallmark do. There's like little animated sequences of the Yule lads, and I'm like, whoa, what are we doing here, Hallmark? We're spending money.
Interesting.
So yeah, she's searching for this treasure that her mother had searched for before she died.
Mm-hmm.
And there's of course a guy she's working for, and there's literally a scene where she talks about it should be in a museum, and he's like, no, we need the money. And I'm like, wow, we really are
That's just
doing
straight
Indiana
up Indiana
Jones.
Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Fortune
like,
and
did she just say it
glory
belongs in a museum?
belongs in a museum.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so they're looking for this, and then they find the treasure, but the treasure is really to appreciate what is in front of you.
Well, that's where they
That's
that's where
that's the
they
treasure.
lose some of the excitement there of the Indiana Jones franchise.
Yeah. I
Indiana
also was
Jones
like,
has never ended a movie by going, I guess I learned the lesson was the friends I made along the way. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
was
don't think
basically
so.
like just get back with your ex-husband and
Oh, well, yeah, of course,
stop
because it's a
looking for
Hallmark movie.
treasure.
Yeah, you gotta.
I will say she has some of the worst shirts I've ever seen anyone wear in anything. She has shirts that I can't even describe because they're so weird and bizarre. She wears a one-shouldered turtleneck at one point.
Brilliant.
She does have a very beautiful ball gown at one point, but her shirts are absurd. I don't know what these shirts were. I was very confused by the shirts.
Bring it up with the costume
Yeah.
department.
But yeah, they find the treasure. They fall back in love. They realize the mistakes they made in their marriage. Yeah.
All right.
It's
Yeah.
very pretty. Iceland's gorgeous.
Oh, sure. Yeah. 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 I mean, like I said, I was not expecting this many on location shoots for Hallmark.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how many reindeer do you give it?
4. I think it's a little bit better than your average Hallmark movie, especially because you get to be in Iceland. They're very charming. They have good chemistry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
There you go. Well, there you have it. There's your marathon of 9 movies.
I did it.
Yeah. Now, because of that, and because you're also going to be out of town, next week's episode I think is going to come out a little bit later, and will be a little bit more of a rundown of sort of watch this, don't watch that, right?
Yeah, for the week for this next week, I'll just sort of run through those.
Yeah, we won't have the rating system we normally do and stuff like that. We'll have a little bit more casual thing, but look, this was the big week. We're entering the we're up over the hill of this thing and sort of on our downward slope approaching Christmas itself. Their countdown to Christmas, if you will, over on Hallmark.
Yep, countdown to Christmas.
Of course, we want to thank you for watching this. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe below here on YouTube. And if you want more from us at the Punch Up Entertainment Network, head over to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/punchup. That's punchup ENT. There you get cool exclusive bonus shows as well as help support the network. But that's going to do it for this week's Holiday Report. We'll see you next week.